Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So here is the scoop from Eleanor Turret here on Twitter. Gary Gensler's embarking on a midnight massacre. In an attempt to bring all of crypto under his control in the coming weeks, the SEC, NYDFS, and the USOCC will be bringing a myriad of enforcement actions against exchanges, banks, and entities that mint tokens in an attempt to label the majority of them as securities. So guys, this is the latest news story within the crypto space in the United States. I'm told Gary Gensler's strategy is to bring as many enforcement actions as possible, while the 118th Congress is still getting its bearings. So it's looking as though this is what the SEC's strategy is. And Mr. Hubert here saying, I hate to say it, but I agree with this point on staking. Now, Gary Gensler and the SEC did just release a video. Today, the SEC charged Kraken for the unregistered offer and sale of securities through its staking as a service program. Whether it's through staking as a service, lending, or other means, crypto intermediaries must provide the proper disclosures and safeguards required by our laws.
What does stake have to do with our securities laws? That's S-T-A-K-E, not S-T-E-A-K. In the crypto markets, there are various ways to validate data stored on crypto ledgers called blockchains. And one of these ways is called staking. Investors lock up their tokens in escrow and help validate the next block of data. Some stakers are then rewarded with new tokens. Staking, though, can be complicated and time-consuming and can take big upfront commitments of tokens. There's also the risk that you won't get new tokens even if you stake. Thus, crypto entrepreneurs started offering what's called staking as a service. No, not like the steakhouse. Basically, if you transfer your tokens to a staking as a service provider, they take control, possibly pooling your tokens with thousands or millions of others while promoting returns. But here's the rub. When a company or platform offers you these kinds of returns, whether they call their services lending, earn, rewards, APY, or staking, that relationship should come with the protections of the federal securities laws. That means you, the investor, should receive important disclosures. For example, what do they actually do with your tokens? Are they really staking them? Are they lending, borrowing, or trading with them? Are they commingling them with their other businesses? Where do the rewards come from? Are you getting your fair share? Are the underlying crypto protocols genuinely creating value on your investment? Or are they just new tokens that dilute the value of ones you already have? Remember, if you have a stake, that's S-T-E-A-K, if you have a stake meant for two and cut it into 3 pieces, it's still the same amount of stake. Unfortunately, because these staking as a service providers generally are not providing proper disclosures, there's currently no reliable way as an investor to know the answers to these important investment questions. Plus, when you sign on the dotted line or accept the terms of service, you are generally agreeing that placing your tokens with these providers may mean transferring your ownership to them. There's an expression in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto.
And I am going to stop it there. There's about another 30 seconds left, but I will link this in the description if you guys want to watch the full 3 minutes and 37 seconds. I think Gary Gensler, though, does explain it quite clearly, and I can see why some in the crypto community think he's on point with this, like Mr. Hubert. Hate to say it, but I agree with his point on staking. Wrath of Kahneman also saying, yeah, I tend to agree for organizations offering staking. Direct on-chain, direct staking seems different, though tokenomics can be pretty opaque. Phil D down here saying, the problem is enforcement. The impact is more important for investors than for Kraken and other exchanges. Why not telling all exchanges it is forbidden and let a delay to propose a compliant solution that would promote a smooth transition to regulated activities? Interesting points of view here. And Gary Gensler, I've even got to say, Gary Gensler brings up some good points. talking about not your keys, not your crypto right at the end here. I've always been a huge proponent of that. And when you give your coins over to a third party, you just really don't know what they're doing with them. You don't know if they're diluting your crypto position. Like he said, you're staking coins, and is the company just creating more coins, which is essentially just diluting the circulating supply of said cryptocurrencies, or are you taking from the original supply? Also, there's this issue of, is staking your coins actually lending any kind of value to the ecosystem, or are they just holding them pretending to add value to the ecosystem? So it is very opaque, and Mr. Hubert Rathkoneman bring up some good points. On the other hand, I mean, this Kraken situation does smell a little fishy. Jeremy Hogan here saying Kraken offers up to 20% on staked tokens. Bank of America offers 0.0001% and a paperclip. Of course, the SEC would want to shut it down. So this was the other big piece of news that had been hitting crypto Twitter. SEC hits Kraken with $30 million fine, orders crypto exchanges to halt staking in the United States. But does this extend to every crypto exchange? If you guys are holding staking tokens, is this going to affect you? Can you go to another platform? So we're going to get deeper into this in today's video, guys. The SEC today hit San Francisco-based crypto exchange Kraken with a $30 million fine. So Kraken just decided we're going to pay the fine. In a Thursday announcement, the regulatory body announced the firm had failed to register the offer and sale of their crypto asset staking as a service program. Kraken, which consists of Payward Ventures Inc. and Payward Trading Limited, agreed to halt its staking as a service for U.S. clients, but did not admit or deny any allegations in the SEC's complaint. So just for U.S. clients, unfortunately, Kraken has to halt their services. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said today's action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register and provide full, fair, and truthful disclosures and investor protection. Kraken did not immediately respond to Decrypt's questions, but said it would still offer staking as a service for non-US clients through a separate Kraken subsidiary. But they did pay the fine, and they are likely now going to register with the SEC. So a slap on the wrist, perhaps a warning signal being sent out to other exchanges in the United States. But Jeremy Hogan bringing up a good point, right? To this point that I've been trying to hit home, the powers that be do not want us to be rich. They want to try everything to keep shutting us down, to keep impeding us from making gains on our cryptocurrencies. And again, guys, self-custody, not your keys, not your crypto. Personally, I keep my XRP, for example. I'm not staking XRP, but I keep my XRP in the Ledger Nano, a cold storage solution where I know it is safe. I have an affiliate link in the description of the video. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it if you're still looking for a cold storage solution. There have been way too many instances where, a lot of, these types of situations have resulted in people losing their crypto. And, these staking as a service platforms is just one of them. So this is where the SEC is deciding to go. Michael Branch brought this to my attention. Blockchain Association calls on Congress to intervene and end the SEC's attack on the crypto industry, because staking is just one part of this and arguably a very, very important part of crypto ecosystems that are currently being built. Blockchain Association CEO Kristen Smith has released a statement on the SEC's eradication of staking on crypto exchange Kraken. The Washington, D.C.-based organization, which represents more than 100 crypto companies in a push to improve public policy for blockchain networks on Capitol Hill, says the SEC's actions part of an ongoing attack on the nascent industry. And here's a quote, guys. The SEC continues its attack on the crypto companies and retail investors, regulating by enforcement and undercutting the potential of public blockchain networks in the United States. Staking is an important part of the crypto ecosystem, allowing individuals to participate in decentralized networks and giving investors more options to earn passive income. I remember reading on Twitter just this morning that somebody was making something like $400 or $500 a month passively just staking their cryptocurrency, and now that revenue stream is going to be eradicated. So, what does this mean for the everyday Joe? In some cases, it can mean groceries, no groceries, So really what Gary Gensler is doing here is, on the one hand, protecting investors, but on the other hand, preventing people in some cases to provide for themselves. So a double-edged sword, certainly. Somebody else brought up a good point. You can always stake through decentralized platforms. Tim here also bringing this to our attention. SEC Commissioner Peirce publicly rebukes her agency and Gary Gensler on crypto regulation. So here's what Hester Peirce said. Hester Peirce of the SEC publicly rebuked her agency's crypto enforcement, calling it paternalistic and lazy, and asking if a hostile regulator is the best solution for the industry. Peirce, who was appointed to her post as commissioner by President Donald Trump in 2018, wrote in a statement on Thursday that she disagreed with the SEC's assertion that the shutdown of cryptocurrency exchange Kraken's staking program was a win for investors. So, I mean, there's going to be nuance in here, despite the fact that we can see points in what Gary Gensler is saying, or at least I can. I don't know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments, obviously. Or you can tag me on Twitter. We can keep the discussion rolling over there. Despite the fact that he's got some points here, there's obviously going to be nuance, and it's not just going to be an all or nothing thing. There's going to be gray areas for sure. Crypto staking should definitely exist, but what are those guidelines going to be? And how is the government going to regulate the heck out of it before you can participate, I think is the real question. And what is reasonable, what's not reasonable? The SEC's action against Kraken, which has settled without an admission or denial of wrongdoing, alleged that the exchange engaged in the unregistered offer and sale of securities through its crypto lending platform. And so here's Hester Peirce's point. Whether one agrees with the analysis or not, a more fundamental question is whether the SEC registration would have been possible. Yes, very good point. Considering the SEC's opaqueness in crypto and, telling crypto companies, come on in, we'll talk about it, and then turning around and suing them in a bold, two-faced move, would Kraken have ever even gotten the clarity? My guess is probably not. And that's what Hester Peirce is saying too. In the current climate, the crypto-related offerings are not making it through the SEC's registration pipeline. So Hester Peirce coming out continuously, and consistently being critical of Gary Gensler and the way that the SEC is enforcing these new crypto actions. So wanted to thank Tim here just for posting that. Wanted to keep moving along because a lot of people in the XRP community chiming in on this. Crypto Law here on Twitter pointing this out. The fact that he is making cringy jokes about something he cares so little about shows that Gary Gensler is not interested in protecting investors or providing clarity to the markets. So, these videos that are being put out by the SEC, they're trying to be lighthearted and a little comedic and, easy to understand. The SEC ultimately wants the public on their side. And by and large, the public, especially people in the crypto communities in the United States, we're not on the SEC's side. There's so many reasons why we are not in favor of how the SEC is regulating this industry. And, Gary Gensler here trying to reason with us, explaining, this is why we should be doing this, guys. We don't want you to be hurt. And we don't want your crypto to be lost. And I mean, it's very manipulative because at the end of the day, if we just had the clarity, as Hester Peirce says, if the SEC, if the agency was just clear in the first place, we would never be in this situation to begin with. So, it is cringy, and I get Crypto Law's point here, but really, who is he protecting? Audio London down here saying, he is protecting investors, the SEC investors, JP Morgan, Wall Street bankers, etc. I think that is the bigger point here. Retail traders are getting rich. They're not going through the approved institutions, and I put that in quotes. And so what happens next? Well, we have to regulate the small guys. We have to bide our time before the big guys can get in, before the big banks get in, and also provide these services so that they can make their share of the pie. XRPC down here saying, so Ethereum is declared not a security. So check this out. With regards to the Kraken story, Kraken reached a settlement with the US SEC regarding its on-chain staking program. Kraken has agreed to end its on-chain staking services for US clients only, starting today with the exception of staked Ethereum. Assets enrolled in the on-chain staking program by US clients will automatically be unstaked and will no longer earn staking rewards. With the exception, though, of Ethereum. Things that make you go, for sure. We got Moon Family Sedan here saying, well, there we are. Kraken pays $30 million to the SEC and settles. Kim Jong Gensler believes that grown adults are too stupid for their own good and should not be able to make their own investment decisions. Yay, protection. He continues on down here by saying, don't be fooled by this nonsense babble about safeguards. That's not what the big picture is about. So, to a degree, I get what Gary Gensler's saying, and to another very, very important degree, I understand what Moon Lambo's saying here, or Moon Family Sedan, whatever he's going by these days. There is no path forward for crypto in the United States today. Panos here saying Gary Gensler is doing us a service. So another interesting perspective, he's pushing everyone to self-custody and DeFi that the SEC cannot control. So that's the other thing we have to remember here. You don't have to stake on these exchanges. You can stake, you can self-custody and decide to do it through decentralized finance or DeFi. The real Block X down here saying, I sort of agree, but let's face the facts. How are these centralized exchanges paying us 20%? And this is another good point, right? This is the reason, one of the reasons why Celsius went down. Most exchanges don't disclose it. Then when the exchange goes bust, we investors are up in arms. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't suck and blow, however you want to put it. This is just it. How do they give us 20%? Sometimes we don't question it. Most times investors don't question it. They just want the returns. Yet when these companies go bust, then everybody is up in arms. And so, again, to his point, we need regulation. How much? Should we be pulling up our big boy pants and, custodying on decentralized exchanges? Obviously, there's risk to that as well. So all very good points here. Tom Emmer here also bringing this up. To be clear, staking enables more people to participate in building the next generation of the internet. So there's also this point, right? Staking is kind of essential if we want to build out the ecosystem. Some of these programs have been built on staking. So if there's going to be harsh limits on staking, that is definitely going to hinder the crypto ecosystem in the US. So this is a whole separate point that I'm sure a lot of other developer types and people within the industry are probably quite worried about. Wendy O down here saying, we will leave overseas, we pay taxes, we follow real laws, yet we are told by a small group what we can and cannot do with our money. Lottery tickets are more dangerous, and those are marketed to the poor. Why is that okay? Yeah, very, very good points here. Mike Manfield down here saying, how else can he protect his banking buddies? I mean, who really wants 15 to 20% earnings when you stake, when you can put it in the bank for about 1 to 3%? I do not get it at all. And so, that is the glaringly obvious point here that I think, a lot of people in the crypto space are picking up on. Essentially, this is a game about growing your wealth. And if you cannot stake, then what are your other options? I mean, putting your money in the bank for 1 to 3%? That's lame. We are risking our capital. We want big rewards. We want to see the market rally. We want to see our crypto working for us. And so, staking was another option for a lot of crypto holders to make passive income. John Deaton here also bringing up a good point. This one from XRP Crypto Wolf. Possible Ethereum staking ban, part of an all-out war by the SEC. So here's what John Deaton said. The crypto space has been disturbed by rumors of a possible SEC ban on crypto staking for retail customers. So this came out before the Kraken statement. One of the first to report the news was the head of Coinbase, as I mentioned in a video I did the other day, which I'll link up here if you guys didn't catch that. John Deaton, longtime SEC fighter, attorney, and XRP holder representative, has something to say on the subject of possible tighter regulations in the crypto sphere. The expert said that the commission is waging an all-out war against the crypto industry, and the regulator's head, Gary Gensler, is not about to give up. Earlier in late January, after the White House released a roadmap on cryptocurrencies, Deaton speculated that a final and most aggressive attempt to shut down the crypto sphere is about to take place. So did John Deaton's prediction come true? Also, at the very beginning of the year, the crypto advocate shared his predictions for 2023. In it, he predicted that the SEC's case against Ripple would end with a court ruling. So John Deaton's been pretty on point with a lot of things. Are we still going to see a court ruling for Ripple? That is still up in the air. One or more crypto exchanges would be sued for selling unregistered securities. The FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried investigation would reveal a lot of dirt. And Gensler would step down by the end of the year. So I guess we will see what happens. And those are all John Deaton's predictions. The thing we do know for sure, this is an update from Andrew at AP Abacus here on Twitter. Additional actions are coming from the SEC. Okay, so this was posted yesterday afternoon after the Kraken statement. Source: exchanges and stablecoin issuers will be getting Wells notices in the coming days and weeks. Specifically mentioned were Circle and Paxos. A Wells notice is a notification issued by regulators to inform individuals or companies of completed investigations where infractions have been discovered. It usually takes the form of a letter, which notifies recipients both of the broad nature of the violations, just show more here, undercovered, as well as the nature of the enforcement proceedings to be initiated against the recipient. So this is the latest, guys, that is coming down the pipe. Cointelegraph here reporting on this as well. While the exact reason for the investigation hasn't been revealed, it has been reported that the New York regulator plans on upping its efforts to protect customers this year. And again, this has to do with stablecoin issuer Paxos. they are now being probed by the New York regulator. An NYDFS spokesperson declined to comment on ongoing investigations in this matter, but noted that the department is broadly working to protect consumers from risks associated with investing in the cryptocurrency market. The department is in continuous contact with regulated entities to understand vulnerabilities and risks to consumers and the institutions themselves from crypto market volatility we are experiencing. So guys, do not be surprised if the next thing we get is a hit on stablecoins. We know the government has been eyeing stablecoins for a very long time, and this was kind of their main go. They have to regulate stablecoins because this is where we park our capital when the market rallies, and they're trying to do this ahead of time now before this next bull run. So it's a bit of a multi-pronged strategy coming from government. And I mean, I guess I gotta ask, how many of you guys are staking coins? You know, what is the percentage of you guys that stake coins? Do you only hold XRP? Do you hold other coins? And, you know, what are your strategies? Well, I just happened to take a look at, just a list, just giving you guys an idea of some of the coins that people stake. So EOS, Tezos, Cosmos, Cardano, Polkadot, just to name a few. And there are other ones too, like this link down here shows 19 best staking coins for maximum passive income. And so I know during the last bull run, a lot of people were getting very excited about these possibilities, but I think now the excitement is dying down, and I think people were getting into certain cryptocurrencies strictly because of the staking possibilities, and I think that that is going to change. What does that change mean, right? You know, out of the 22,000 plus cryptocurrencies, 22,495 as stated here by CoinMarketCap, as we see that number continue to rise, I think, you know, we're seeing this number rise right now, but as new regulations come down the pipe, we're going to see the number of new projects slow down significantly. I think people are going to take their money out of, coins that they strictly bought for staking purposes and really start thinking about where they want to put their value. I think this is going to be great for other projects like XRP, XLM, Algorand, you know, the coins that hold real value. I know you can stake Algorand. That is one that you can stake. But, at the end of the day, all the other random coins, let's just, talk about all the multitude of other coins that people probably purchased just to stake. Well, now they realize staking is going to be limited in the US. So maybe now what we'll start seeing is that money transferring to other coins that solve real world problems. What the leaders of the industry have been telling us for all these years. Invest in coins that solve problems. Those are going to be the coins that last in the long run. It's interesting, though, because Coinbase, their staking program apparently has not been affected. This coming from Frank Chaparro here. Coinbase says Kraken news will not affect their staking program. And here's a statement from Coinbase. Coinbase's staking program is not affected by today's news. Staking on Coinbase continues to be available, and staked assets continue to earn protocol rewards. What's clear from today's announcement is that Kraken was essentially offering a yield product. So this is the difference. Coinbase's staking services are fundamentally different and are not securities. For example, our customers' rewards depend on the rewards paid by the protocol and commissions we disclose. Rule-making clear these distinctions would provide real clarity to consumers, investors, and the industry. So as per Coinbase, clearly they've got the go-ahead to continue staking coins, although they are likely only offering staking services for a limited amount of cryptocurrencies. But I think this is more proof of where the US regulatory clarity is going. Coinbase is definitely one of those exchanges that wants to play by the rules, that has already been given somewhat of a green light. I mean, they did launch their IPO recently, so obviously they've got a good relationship with the SEC. So maybe Coinbase is another option for staking. I think, though, for a lot of these projects, we are going to see go bye-bye. And I really do believe that this next bull run will have already created some more knowledgeable investors. The money will likely flow into the coins that solve problems. XRP being one of those coins, that's just my opinion. But I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.